Well, here's another reveal. This one is number 619. It's a 1983 Philadelphia roll. Going to go through this and see what we can find in here with regard to double dies. Plenty of double die obverses, a few double die reverses, including a couple of pretty strong ones. So let's see what we get into here. And go ahead and open this up. I have to take tape off of it to get it open. Okay, not going to take tape off. I'm going to cut tape off of it. I don't like when people tape rolls like this. They tape them, but there's no grabbable end. Takes a blade to cut through the tape to get to the coins. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is make sure there are 50 coins here. And there are. My next trick will be to actually start going through these coins. And I'm going to do first here. Coin number 1. Stan. Alright, let's see what Stan gets. Coin number 1, 1983. There are a few different things we're looking for here. There's some nice errors for 1983 that we can chance finding by looking. And that is there's an odd counterclash on the obverse where you can see the LIB of Liberty out in front of the chin. And then there's another one. There's a cud on the reverse. There's some interesting looking errors that we can possibly find in this roll. I have not given this any pre-search. I just cut the tape off the roll from another seller, so not my doing. We're just looking for the coins that matter. There are some pretty looking coins in here. I mean, this is in really good shape. Really nice gemmy coins. Might be worth actually looking into getting some of these graded. Mark, the coin I just went through for you is a nice 66. So a chance on being able to come up with something nice in grading. I'm checking to see if there's any realistic extra thickness to be looked at in the motto up here, and I'm not really seeing it. I thought I was at first, but I'm not. So time to flip it over and take a look for double die on this side. And we have nothing. This one for Mr. Jordan. Coin number 4 now. Adam. Let's see what we find for coins and ghouls here. We do have a little bit of that baked in impurity thing, little gas bubbles we call orange peel. It's because the zinc planchet was not properly and totally clean when they plated it. And it got dirty, contaminated on the inside and started expanding. That's what causes that issue with the plating. You got little tiny bits of corrosion going on underneath the plating. Hey, Malcolm. Good evening, good day, good afternoon. Gute Nachmittag, meine gnädige Freunde. Just looking for the goods, not finding it, not expecting it, hoping that it's there. Don't ever do these rolls expecting something. 95% of the time your expectations will be dashed. You get into these rolls expecting to have an adventure, expecting to have something to look for, expecting to try to have fun with the process. You come into these things hoping for the good. You will have fun doing it. You come into these things expecting the good. You will be miserable and probably looking for a new hobby, because I can guarantee you double dies and repunchment marks have value because they are scarce. Scarce means you're not going to find one commonly. Not going to find one commonly generally means that you're going to look through thousands of coins before you find anything of value. Especially if you're digging through OBW stuff like this. Your chances of there being a double die reverse, let's say the big double die reverse, your chances of there being one in a just large conglomerate mix of 1983 Lincoln Cents is more likely than you finding one in an original roll. The reason for that is because all of the coins minted on a given single day out of a given short list of die pairs is all you're going to see in original rolls like this. But if you gather 1983 Lincoln Cents in a bucket out of common change, let's say you end up with 300 coins, you're going to be probably looking at 300 different die pairs. Whereas here, when you look through these 50 coins, you're likely only looking at between 6 and 9 different die pairs. So there goes the theory that original rolls are going to be that much more rewarding for you because it's much harder to locate a roll that's going to have something in it. It's much more of a lottery ticket, but it pays off a lot better when you do. And the reason why is because if there's one valuable coin in this roll, there's one thing of better value in this roll, we would likely find between 2 and 10 of them at the least. And if you're going through coins that came out of circulation, your likelihood of finding 2 coins from the same die pair is like 1 in 700. Maybe even 1,000, depending on how many die pairs were used. I'm pretty sure the numbers are over 1,000 now, because they're minting billions of coins each and every year. Okay. Sometimes when you start to get just a little bit of rub on the coins, you end up with these little lines that show up in the center of the letters, like this right here, and like this right here, and like this right here. And sometimes those little lines can start to fool you into thinking that they're hub doubling. And that's kind of what I saw on the top part of this E. And I kind of saw it just a little bit maybe on the N and the 0 and the O. And so that kind of got my head thinking, whoa, wait a minute, this might be one of the lesser double dies. But then I kind of followed things around and started looking a little more closely. And as I did, I realized that's just stacking rub on normal letters. Well, that wasn't exactly what we wanted to see. You see that stuff on here again. It looks like hub doubling at first, but then your wits come about you and it's not. So there's your chance to get all excited then unexcited all in the same big deep breath. It happens. Fools me sometimes. If there's anybody who should know by experience what they're doing, it would be me. I have a lot of experience at this. So that's one thing you can say. I don't say that I'm great at this. I don't say I'm an expert at it. I don't say that I do it better than anybody else in the world. I just do it more frequently than a lot of other people do. And given that I do it more frequently than a lot of other people do, my muscle memory and my ability to see things and repeat markers and stuff that I see is something that's a taught thing. That's something that I taught myself over time. It's a skill. It's not something that you're ever going to even imagine being born with. It's not. It's not like that. And so we move on in life, doing our things. And this one could be interesting, but it's not. Thought it might have been one of those kind of oddball error type coins. Twasn't. Coin number 15 now. This one for Mickey. We're going to be well ahead of time on things unless I get really slow about stuff. Trying to put a box together, send it to Eric, and I keep holding off. I'm going to send that box. I'm probably going to glue it together today and get it out in the mail today or tomorrow. Coin number 16 now, this one for Mark. It looks like we're probably going to end up with just another plain roll here. Looks like. Hey, it could be something. You never know. But well, this one is also a tubed roll. Although it appears to be an original roll, there is a chance that we could have a split roll where the bottom part of the roll has double dies in it that we have not seen in the top part. It's not uncommon for people to mix BU rolls of different time frame of manufacture together when they start selling coins out of one or the other. So, you don't say, oh, I'm not going to find anything in this. If you do that, you'll never find anything. But you kind of get an idea that once you've been through 17, 18 coins of a roll, 20 coins, 25, that you've probably seen what there is to offer in the roll. So you tend to move a little more quickly once your eyes start getting adjusted to the particular issue in the design. Hey, Roger. And so that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm kind of getting my eyeballs adjusted to the idea of looking at the 1983 design, because the obverse and the reverse are both different from other years. you're looking at 64D, you're going to be looking at a completely different obverse and completely different reverse design than 1983. And thus, because the relief is different, the relief is shaped differently, everything's kind of shaped a little differently, your points of weakness in the die are going to change. Places that show doubling earlier are going to change. Things like finding particular markers, like or particular attributes, like that notching in the corners in Class 2 that we were looking at in the 1964. 1983 would be much more difficult to spot something like that, just because of what the design is and how the design is put together. It's an experience thing. It really is. It really isn't anything that I can sit and teach you. It really isn't anything that you can learn from a book or a website. It's something that you absolutely have to learn with practice. Just like reading how to ride a bicycle. Yeah, read how to ride a bicycle, but actually sitting out there on the bike and keeping balance and pedaling is completely different from sitting in a chair reading about it. This basically has the same truth. Fact remains. So I help where I can. I give you guys tips and pointers. I have no problem with having photos sent to me. Hello, sissy. Good afternoon to you. But the actual process of learning how to do this is something that is going to require patience and a lot of experience. I would be probably incorrect to state that I have looked at less than 100,000 rolls of coins. I don't know how many I have, but I'm pretty sure it's over 100,000. You got die cracks at both edges. You got one going from the right memorial base, and you've got one going from the left memorial base. That's interesting sometimes, just to look at little things like that. It would be you, sissy. Actually, if I say that, it doesn't do any good. Because if she can't hear me, then, yeah, what's the point? Maybe it's the volume. Maybe my volume needs to be a little louder when I'm speaking. But your volume maybe need to be a little louder when you're listening. I'm going to say somewhere around 2000 to 2005, somewhere in there, a gentleman by the name of Richard was the person who dug into a 1982 small day zinc roll and found a massive double die reverse. Very nice one. It's the only coin he found with that doubling. And he asked me about it, and we were friends, and I told him, that really looks promising. Looks like a double die. Why don't you send it to me, and I'll photograph it, and we'll see what we can do. So he sent it to me, and when he sent it to me, I looked at it, and I was absolutely certain that it was a double die, and a very, very nice one. I photographed it. I listed it on Copper Coins. I sent the images to James Wiles, John Wexler, Ken Potter, and to CoinWorld. CoinWorld, there was an article produced about it, and CoinWorld published the article. Anyhow, Richard passed a few years back of cancer, and his wife contacted me, wanted me to come take a look at his collection put values on the things I didn't want to take away, and pay for the things I do. And I'm excited to announce that his collection will remain dormant no longer after, I think, second week of August, because I'll be traveling to look at and or buy his collection. Fortunately for my pocketbook, but unfortunately for my level of curiosity and experience in doing this, that one double die will not be there. It was sold to help pay for his medical bills. So I will not see that double die, although that would be a very highly interesting thing to be able to look at in person again. All right, here's coin number 28, Carl. And here it is, time to get started on this reveal. So we're doing pretty well. We're getting ahead of time here on things. So that's kind of where I like to be. I kind of like being in that pocket, so I can do stuff like this and zoom in and take a look at stuff real closely, because I think I maybe see some doubling in Liberty here. Maybe. I was wrong. No doubling. Get the coin back in here so I can put it in focus before I get the next one out. There we go. That's good enough. Let's see. Make sure I've seen the reverse on this one. Sometimes I'm guilty of throwing the obverse up, looking at it, and then deciding there's nothing there, and I just put the coin away. I don't think about looking at the reverse sometimes. Oh, you can hear me now. Can you hear me now? Good. All right, next coin, Parvez. Let's see if Parvez gets anything exciting here. Not on the obverse. Not on the reverse either. Coin number 30 for Tyler. Let me get this. There we go. My camera all nice and centered again. All right, for Tyler. I do have 4 additional reveals that I owe out, so I kind of figure it this way. If I do reveals this week and I sell 3, 4, 5 rolls, I haven't really decided yet what I'm going to do, and put those together with the ones I already owe, I will have about 2 weeks worth of reveals to get done. So that's where I'm going to go, I do believe, today. So just to show you guys that I am not completely out of sorts in doing this, I decided to go ahead and do a couple of the reveals during the day today to get through some of them so that I didn't have such a backlog. But additionally, so I'd be able to talk with the people who do show up about the fact that there is a reveal show tonight. And the reveal show, Eric and I will both be selling a few rolls. There will not be a reveal show next Monday because that's Memorial Day. Yes, he did, Sissy. I saw that. It was awesome. Brought it straight to me and he said, "Here, I want you to see this." And so I looked at it and I said, "Well, that's a DDO." He says, "Yeah, I know." Oh, okay. It's a nice DDO. Yeah, I know. Okay. Nice RPM, too. Yeah, I know. I've been working on trying to get some of my organization and stuff together a little bit better. That's part of the plan for the future for me, is to work on getting better organized, kind of shrink a little bit in size, and work on concentrating on getting things a little less cluttery. That's a word I can think of. A little less cluttered and a little more streamlined, so I can do this process into the future. Oh, for some of you, you don't have Facebook, or you don't look on Facebook, or maybe we're not Facebook friends, so you don't see all my posts. But I did post this a couple of weeks ago that I finally got the courage together to go ahead and apply for military disability compensation again. I did it in 1996 when I got out of the military. They, well, for lack of a better word, they pissed me off by basically saying I didn't really have anything wrong with me. So then 2009, from 96 to 2009, I did nothing because I was mad. And in 2009, I decided to try it again. So I put together my paperwork, got everything together, filed, and what I saw was rejection again. But it was by letter, and I was expecting rejection, so that's what I saw. Whereas I don't believe it was actually rejection. What they were looking for at that time was better proof of my story, because I had not been seen by any military or VA docs for the problems I have. And there was very good reason for that. While I was in the military, I did not want anyone to know about the anguish I was going through, because I was afraid they would medically separate me and put me out. And then in 1996, when I made my report, it was like the first day I ever heard of it. Well, it's because I was getting out anyway. So, what are you going to do? Fire me? So in 96, I was rejected, basically. It's like this guy said, nah, evaluator. He evaluated me, and I talked with him for a while, and basically said there's just nothing wrong with me. And then, of course, that pissed me off. And then in 2009, I decided to give it a shot again. 2009, the letter I got back, I thought was rejection, but now that I really think about it and look back on that, I think what they were looking for was just more evidence. They were looking for something to prove, because in 2009, I was with the belief, okay, yeah, I had a disability. They missed it. They didn't look at it, or they didn't care. And then in 2009, when I redid it, I had not seen anybody in the VA. I had not been seen professionally for any of the issues that I've got. Simply, there's a spiked head die crack right there. I had not been seen by any of the professionals, and so I had no record of having been seen. So once again, we need evidence. We don't see anything in any records anywhere that show that you have problems. Well, here it is, 2024, and my VA medical jacket goes back to 2017, when I started going to the VA, when I found out that I had been lied to by veterans who said, "Oh, you can't get any coverage. There's nothing you can do when you go into the VA if you're not already signed up as disabled, because all they treat are service-connected disabled people." And I was like, okay. Well, 2017, I went into the VA community-based outpatient clinic and talked to a couple of people there who got me basically connected with the system. And I started going through therapy, going through the things I needed to go through, sorting out my issues. Well, I've been doing that for, since 2017, however many years that is, probably 7 years. And I have a pretty thick jacket from the VA of people who have seen me, diagnosed me, tested me, given me this, given me that. And so now my application goes in. All they have to do is look at my VA record, and they can see diagnosis by VA doctors for what I've got going on. So there's absolutely no chance they can say there's nothing wrong with you. Now the burden of proof on me is going to be the how much. How badly does it affect me? And that's pretty simple with the letter that I wrote. But we're going to finish, Stephen and I are going to finish editing up that letter, figuring out exactly what to put in it. Then we're going to send it in on another form with my disability claim and let it sit in their court and figure out what they want to do about it. Probably be anywhere between 3 and 6 months before I find anything out. But nonetheless, I've actually applied for it. So that is a step in the right direction. What it really boils down to is I was given misinformation as I was getting out of the military. I was given more misinformation after I got out of the military. And I listened to the misinformation I was given as if it were the truth. And I now kind of wish I had not. But at that point in time, the internet was more or less in its infancy, and there really wasn't a whole lot that I could do to look things up. And you push that forward in time. Now there's a lot of things out there, but if you're not looking, you're not going to find them. So it's basically a tragic case of circumstance that I have now gone 20-something years, 37 years now. It's been, 26, 27 years since the late 90s that I've not had military disability compensation, that I've not had until 2017 any direct care for my issues, because I did not think I was eligible, and I was. So I went into the eligibility office, and it was an older gentleman who had a huge dog in there. Well, I don't know what kind of dog it was, but it was as big as a Great Dane. Big fur ball. Oh, I can't remember what kind of dog it was, but anyhow, he asked me what my credentials were, and I told him. He entered it into his system, and he said, well, "You're a combat vet." I said, "Yeah, I'm a combat vet." He said, "You're always welcome at any VA facility." And I was like, "Well, that's not what I heard." He said, "You heard wrong. You're always welcome at any VA facility." And I was like, okay. So that's when I started getting my my health care taken care of. Well, I tell you what, Spike Ted Die Crack, the VA might take quote-unquote forever, but it's already been 30 years. I'm not in a big hurry. I already have the intent to file in their hands with recognition that I got it to them. So my intent to file for disability went in February or January or February, and it was February, I think. And any compensation that comes out of any decision made based on this filing is retroactive to the day I told them I was going to file, which was in February. So, in other words, if I deserve anything, I get anything. If they decide to give me anything, I'm already earning it now, and have been since February. So they'll give it to me as a lump sum in the beginning. Up to coin number 49, we're on Sand Digger now. And Sand Digger gets this one. Looks like we're probably not going to have any double dies this time around. I don't have any commercial insurance because I am self-employed, and I chose, because of my eligibility, to just use VA insurance. And I have never had any issues with the VA. So I speak nothing but good about the VA because it's always been a good experience to me. Now there's, of course, the very moment of getting a colonoscopy is not fun. It's not an enjoyable process. However, it was done by my military veteran healthcare system, and I am very happy with their performance, or their not really sure I know what to call it, but anyhow, we've been through 50 coins here as we've been chit-chatting. I've got a 1956D roll left to do this afternoon. I think I'm going to go ahead and take care of that right here after a short break to get everything ready and out on the page, or out on the tray. I meant to say tray and I said page, and I'm not sure why. That does happen sometimes. But why don't you guys go on out to the lobby and come back in for reveal number 620, and we'll get that taken care of here in just a few minutes. I appreciate it, folks, and I'll be right back.